Hello guys. In this video you will learn about all existing features of Igiko Management Tools. Igiko Management Tools are a common set of web-based tools, designed to provide users with features for remote access, management and monitoring of physical and virtual machines, within a permission-based security model. Let's see who might be interested in Igiko. SMEs, who need to provide their employees with access to computers anytime, anywhere. Hosting providers, to provide customers with access to purchase virtual machines. Companies, that have remote servers in a colocation center. IT administrators can monitor the environment and perform basic routine management tasks from anywhere in the world. Software developers and QA engineers, who need access to test computers and virtual machines. Training centers, that provide students with secure and controlled virtual lab features. In this video we will show you the following features in use. Web Remote Desktop, Remote File Transfer, Basic Management and Monitoring of Physical and Virtual Machines, Backup Files and Databases, Custom User Groups, Configurable User Permissions. Let's start with the installation process. Click the Download button. Choose your operating system and download. The download process may take a while, so let's take a look at the prices at the moment. The free version is good for personal use, but has limited features and number of machines. The standard version is intended for personal and business use by small companies. The enterprise version is the full version and is suitable for large companies. You can choose the full version and get a free 14-day trial. We do not request your credit card information in advance. After the free period ends, you will be automatically upgraded to a free license, until you pay for the full version. An invoice for payment or a link to pay by card will be sent to the email address specified during registration. So let's install Igiko now. This is welcome screen, click Next, Privacy Policy. Choose New License Number here. Now let's choose the enterprise version to check all the features. Enter your email, name and the amount of the machines. Phone number is optional. Select the installation folder. Now choose the authentication mode. Custom users here. Here we recommend local system, because user is good for admins to set authentication mode settings, and more. Choose custom user again and create an admin. Choose ports and database. Last step here is, to choose the components, select all and click install. It can take a while. Click done, Igiko will automatically open in the web browser. The first tab is Dashboard. It displays the information and statistics for added computers and virtual machines, as well as alarms and events. After the installation, the computer on which we installed Igiko is automatically added, but the dashboards are empty, because it takes time for the data to be collected. Let's add a second computer for now as an example. To add a new computer, click on the Hosts tab and Add button below. Now enter the Windows login and password of a user who has administrator rights on the machine being added, as well as the address of the nodes, or choose from Active Directory, if the computer is in a domain. Click OK. The computer has been added successfully. It takes about 1 minute for the computer to update its status and collect initial statistics. If the computer you are adding is currently turned off, you can turn it on remotely. This will work if the Wake on LAN option is enabled in its BIOS. When you click on the computer name, all information and statistics on it opens. You can view the processor, memory, disk, network, processes and installed programs. Also, now all information on it will be displayed on the Dashboard tab. Next tab is Virtual Machines. This tab shows virtual machines. You can also view their status by clicking on one. You can also start, stop and restart a VM here. Next is Backups tab. Before creating backups, you must register at least one backup storage location on the Storages page. Click Add bottom. Set a name and select a type. The following types of storages are supported: local disk, network folder, FTP, SFTP. Let's create a local storage. To create it, you only need to specify the local path to the folder. Click OK. After creating the repository, you can already register tasks to create backups. Go to the Backups tab. It is possible to create backups for the following types of objects: directory, database MS SQL Server, database MongoDB. Let's create a task to back up a directory. Click Add. Enter the name of the task, select the host from which we will make backups, set the type to directory and select the path on the host for copying. To set the path, you will need to enter your server login details and select the directory in a separate dialog box. If necessary, set exclusion templates for files and directories. You can define multiple templates. To specify templates, you can use standard special characters. To save disk space, it is recommended to use the mechanism of incremental backups, when the backup copy does not store all the data, but only changes compared to the previous backup. It should be understood that this mechanism allows you to save disk space, but in turn leads to an increase in recovery time. If you plan to use incremental backups, fill in the appropriate selection field and set the frequency of creating full backups. It means that each fifth backup will be full, while other will be incremental. Often, before performing a directory backup and after it is completed, you need to run some scripts. As a rule, this is due to the integrity of the files in the directory. If some process is working with files, then it makes sense to stop it before performing a backup and restart it after the backup is completed. If there is such a need, set these scripts.
Let's indicate the previously created storage for storing backup copies and set the storage policy, number of full backups in the storage.
If you need to encrypt backups, set and confirm a password for the archive. Set a backup schedule. The following scheduler types are available. Every, in this case, set the interval between backups and the start date of execution. Daily, in this case, set the days of the week and time. Monthly, in this case, set the days of the month on which you want to run the backup and determine whether it needs to be launched on the last day of the month. And once, to run it instantly. Click OK, to save the task and start executing backups, according to the specified schedule. Next is a Remote Console tab. This tab allows you to connect to a remote desktop and transfer files remotely. It should be noted that to connect, you must first add the required computer or VM on the Computers tab. Click the Add button at the bottom of the page. Select a computer or virtual machine. Click OK. Now enter your credentials. We are connected to the remote computer. You can expand the screen for more convenient work. Igiko has a built-in remote desktop gateway that allows you to establish connections with any computer or virtual machine located on your local network. With HTML5 RDP client management implemented in the web console, users can work with remote desktops from anywhere using a web browser. They can choose the screen resolution, specify credentials for RDP connections, or use the native virtual machine connection mode if the virtual machine does not have local IP addresses available or does not support RDP. By clicking on the Files tab above, we will be able to access Remote File Transfer, enter the credentials again and get access to the files. Remote File Transfer complements the Remote Desktop feature, which allows you to transfer files between local and remote computers using a browser. You can perform all necessary operations: upload, download, copy and move files, create and rename folders. Select the required folder. Here we can view all files, copy them, add new ones, and also create a new file or folder. Let's create new directory. Now let's upload a file here. We can rename it and delete the file. And now the folder. As you can see, it is very convenient. Now the PowerShell tab. With this feature, you will be able to manage devices added to Igiko using Windows remote management technology. Through the PowerShell console, you can run individual commands. The result of their execution will be displayed in the window. Enter the command in the search bar. For example, the get process command is responsible for retrieving a list of processes on the selected machine. If you enter everything correctly, you will see a list of processes. Now the Settings tab. The Dashboard tab displays product information. Application version. When a new version is released, you just need to click the Update button. Your license number, number of VMs and tunnel address are also indicated in the welcome letter that you will receive by email upon registration. The web tunnel provides a connection to an external application via the internet, without the need to have a dedicated IP address, and without setting up network routers to forward traffic. To connect via a web tunnel, you need to follow the link to your dedicated Igiko-based address specified here in the settings. On the Alert Rules tab, you can set threshold values for each computer and VM. When the value exceeds the value you specified, you will receive a notification by email and in the application. On the Users tab, you can add users. Click Add and enter the required information. Username, first and last name, email. You can also give the user administrator level access. If your team has many departments, you can add the user to the desired group. A group can be created either when adding a user or from the Groups tab above. Now let's move on to the Groups tab. Here we also create different groups, add permissions for each group. Each new user, when added to a specific group, will automatically receive the necessary rights. Now Notifications tab. You can enable the mail notifications to receive monitoring alerts on your email in a specific notification period. Threshold values are entered on the Alerts tab. And the Scheduler tab. Here you can set actions for hosts and virtual machines. You can shut down, restart, start and install. Just choose the host or VM, process and date. And now go to the Permissions tab. On this tab we add the necessary permissions. Select an object, user and group. As mentioned earlier, these permissions will apply to each user added to a particular group and object. Choose an object, user and the group. You can also add new group right here. Select the actions and click OK. Permissions added successfully. We have reviewed major features of the application. As you may have noticed, there is nothing complicated in setting up the application, so it is suitable for users of any level. If you or your company are interested in our application, but would like to add something, you can write to us by email and we will discuss the possibility of the customization. We hope that you were able to fully appreciate all the functions of the application and you did not have any difficulties using it. If you have any questions, write to us and we will solve any problem. Thanks for watching this video. You can find out more about the application and its functionality in our blog. We will also be very pleased if you leave a review or like the video. Have a good day.